This is Omar, my 1995 Mazda Miata. After 22 years, you would expect a car like this to be run down, beat to death, but still in pretty good shape. Yes, when I wax it, does the red paint come off, as you can see here? And does it drip a little bit of oil? Yes. Do I care? Actually, yeah, I do, and I lose quite a bit of sleep over it. But overall, this is a great car. Comes in 5 different trim levels. So back in '95 they had the base, which didn't even give you power windows, didn't give you air conditioning, didn't even give you the cassette player. And here in 2017, you would think, wow, no cassette player, that was tough. But back in the day, that was a big deal to have a cassette player. So this is not the base model. It came in, I think they were not called trim levels, but specification levels. That still isn't it, but I cannot think of what it's called. So they had the A, the B, the C, the D, and the double D. Wait, no, the double D, that was something totally different. So back in 1995, you could have confused car shopping with bra shopping. You would have thought, am I at Victoria's Secret or am I at a Mazda dealership? So, the packages is what they're called. So, the A package gave you aluminum alloy wheels. It gave you a cassette player. Something I didn't mention that came with the base is no power steering, which was, kind of odd. But the A package gave you that. The B package, which is what this model here has, gave you a couple really cool features that a 1995 model, it's surprising that they have. So mine has the power windows, power steering. It has speakers in the headrests. Which is pretty cool. And it has cruise control. I had a 2011 manufacturer who I will not mention, and it didn't even have cruise control. It had crank windows. So for its day, this was a pretty good car. So the C package added a tan interior with leather seats and a leather top. And the R package, which also is called the M editions, would come with special paint and sometimes special wheels, which I thought was kind of odd because an M edition you'd think would have, a little bit more special things than that, but I guess, they liked that word special back in 1995. The NA Miata was refreshed in 1994 to have this 1.8 liter engine. So it is included here in my 1995 model. The power went from 115 horsepower up to 131 horsepower. The engine displacement went from a 1.6 liter up to a 1.8 liter. The power is definitely noticeable when the car weighs just over 2,000 pounds. Looks-wise, there are not a whole lot of differences between the two engines, but if you're looking to modify, you have to get specific parts for your either 1.6 or 1.8 liter engines. Also refreshed with the 1994 model year was they now receive dual airbags, so your passenger is a little bit safer, and subframe bracing. So underneath there's some new bracing and a brace behind the headrests of the driver and passenger seats, which needed to be updated to conform with crash test safety ratings. So as you all know, the NA model has the pop-up headlights, which makes it stand out from the rest. And something I did not know was the reason they got rid of these, and all other manufacturers got rid of the pop-up headlights, were due to pedestrian safety regulations. So apparently when these are up, if you hit somebody while they're walking, you know, that right there can do a lot more damage to a pedestrian than just a flat headlight. So it's pretty cool that the NA Miata that I have here still has the pop-up headlights. I'll just have to be careful when I see people crossing the road. People say they don't put out a whole lot of light, but there are definitely a lot of aftermarket options for these now. So the one thing that I've learned just after owning this car for a few days is how easy it is to modify it. So if you wanted to change these bulbs, there's a couple Phillips head screws here. This pops out, the bulb, a couple more screws pops out. These little turn signal lights here, there's just a screw here and a screw there. Take them right out. Nowadays you have to take the bumpers off and all this other stuff. So great feature of this car. Ooh, pardon me. Sorry about that. Back here is the soft top. So back when these came out, they were very heavy. So you just lash it on like that. Definitely, if you're sitting in the car, it's not a one-arm job. Two minimum. It's very heavy. So you could tear your rotator cuff pretty easily trying to do this while in the car. But something that I have learned here, get it going with one, and then get the second one's help. Ooh. Oh yeah. So also, my specific Miata here, I got with the 5-speed manual transmission, which if you get an automatic Miata, you might as well not even own one. You know, when I do my little searches for Miatas, you definitely want to filter out the autos. They're 4-speed, so you lose a speed compared to the manual. When you're doing highway speeds, about 60 to 70 miles an hour, even 5th gear has the RPMs pretty high. But that was very similar to the ND when I drove that one. This has the glove box, so if you carry gloves around with you quite often, it is a nice feature to have, especially in the winter time, or if you like to wear gloves in the summer, it could come in handy. And in 1997, the NA Miata was phased out. And I've noticed personally that I see way more NA Miatas on the road than any other generation. And so I was curious. I looked up the sales figures. NA Miatas in the United States alone sold 214,000 units, roughly. The NB Miata sold 107,000, roughly. And the NC Miata sold roughly 89,000 units. So the NA sold way better than any other generation. Not sure why, if maybe just back in the day these were like a more popular type. People bought vehicles like this. Now it's more SUV based, but they don't seem too rare, to be honest. You can find them all over the place. People of all different ages own these. It seems to be generally the very young crowd or the very old crowd. But I'm going to fit in very well because I'm already starting to bald. So I am going to pick up some hats. Couple different style hats, so I always have something to wear while I'm driving in this car. Thank you very much for watching my video here. I plan to do a ton more videos because I'm going to be modifying this, not necessarily for performance, but more restoration type purposes. I've already ordered some parts, so I will have some videos posted, probably weekly, if not more. Looking to do more daily videos. But yeah. As you know, like I said, 22 years old, things wear out, things leak, just like we do, and I will keep you up to date. Good morning, Mikey. Oh, there's some rough looking teeth there, buddy.